Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. First things first, I apologize for missing yesterday's episode. I was having some laptop trouble, couldn't get my laptop to charge, so I apologize for that. Also had a little car problems, so by the time I figured things out, I had to get y'all an episode. It was so late, I had work coming up, all that. So I apologize. I will do a makeup show tomorrow. So I'll give y'all a Friday episode this week. Any other time, it's Sunday through Thursday, but I'm gonna give y'all an episode tomorrow to make up for yesterday. So thank y'all for being patient with me. Life comes at you fast sometimes, y'all know that. But God's got it. That's enough rambling on, y'all. We're gonna do our picks this week. Give y'all a couple of best bets, upset picks. Y'all know how we do it on Thursday. Before we get going, y'all do that YouTube stuff for me. Hit that thumbs up. Get in that comment section. Subscribe to the channel. It helps me out tremendously. It's hard for me to get y'all these episodes sometimes, but I'll make sure I get them to you. Unless there's just circumstances out of my control, as in yesterday, didn't have a laptop. So I apologize for that. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's start picking these games, y'all. I'm going to give you all the Vols game first. Vols go on the road. Lexington, Kentucky. Tennessee is 9.5-point favorites. Over under 54.5. FPI loves the Vols. 75-25. You got Aguilar, who's been one of the better quarterbacks in the country this year. Really hurt his team last Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Pick six. Intentional grounding for a safety. Did my Vols bounce back? Make a statement on the road at Kentucky? I think they do. I think our offense is too much for Kentucky to handle. I think Kentucky's offense struggles. I think Tennessee covers that spread, makes a statement, showing the country they're still alive. Oklahoma coming into town next week. I would say it's a look-ahead spot for Tennessee, but the way the game went in Tuscaloosa last week, on top of Kentucky taking Texas into overtime, in a game Kentucky should have won, I'll say anyway, Tennessee overlooks this game. I think they go to Kentucky, handle business, win this game by probably 14-17. Joey Aguilar bounces back. Not that he played bad in Tuscaloosa, but that pick six is one of the worst possible outcomes you can have in a game on the road. About to make it a 2-point game. It broke my heart, y'all. I'm still sick about it, but I'm fired back up. I'm ready for the Vols to go make a statement. Keep their playoffs hopes alive. We're favored in every game the rest of the year, y'all, by the FPI. Now, I don't know about Vegas, but the FPI, Tennessee's favored in every game from here on out, and we got to win them all to get in the playoffs. I'm looking forward to it. Let's keep it moving, y'all. We got UCLA traveling to Indiana. UCLA, after starting the season 0-4, not having a lead in a game, not even against a group of 5 teams. Literally, not even against a group of 5 teams. They played New Mexico. They played UNLV. Didn't have a lead in either one of those games. Then Penn State comes to town after a loss against Oregon in double overtime. UCLA puts belt to ass on them. And UCLA ain't looked back since. They've won 3 in a row, beating Penn State. Who else did they beat? Michigan State. And the other team's slipping my mind right now, y'all. You got Indiana coming fresh off a win against Oregon, at Oregon. Then last week, they whooped up on the team they played. Indiana's whooped every team they played this year, besides Iowa. They only beat Iowa by 5. After beating Illinois by 53, next week they went to Iowa. Only scored 15 points, but guess what? That 15 was enough to get a win against Iowa, like it usually is. So can UCLA go to Indiana and make it a game? The spread's 23.5 points, y'all. Over-under is 54.5. I think UCLA's luck runs out, y'all. I think they can cover that 24-point spread. It's 24.5, 23.5, according to where you look. I do think if you get 24.5, I think UCLA will cover that. That's a lot of points. So if you get 24.5, like on DraftKings right now, I would take them 24.5 if you're betting on this game. That's actually, believe it or not, one of my best bets of the week is UCLA covering those 24.5 points. And I can't stand UCLA. I can't stand Nico. But they've been playing good ball. I think they cover that 24.5 point spread. I don't think it's by much. I think they lose by about 17 to 21. So take Indiana to win, UCLA to cover. That's just a big number in a game like that, y'all. Just a big number in a game like that. Up next, this could be a playoff elimination game, y'all. In the group of 5, you got South Florida traveling a little north to Memphis. Memphis was 6-0, looking like the team to beat for the group of 5 spot. They beat Arkansas. Then they go up against UAB, whose coach just got fired. And UAB beats them, and really beats them pretty good. Memphis lays an egg. South Florida, their losses to Miami. Nothing wrong with that. Miami's beat the hell out of a lot of people this year, besides Louisville. And that's after South Florida beat Boise, Florida. Eventually, a group of 5 team that's upsetting team after team, they're going to run out of steam. FPI's dead even in that game. South Florida's favored. I love South Florida, y'all. I think South Florida is going to win out and be the team from the group of 5 that makes playoffs. And I think Alex Golesh will have a new job next year. Well, he's done South Florida. He needs more credit for. When he took that program over, they was winning 2-3 games a year. And he's went, I think, 7-6, 7-6. And this year, he could easily go 12-1. Alex Golesh is a hot name right now. I think he ends up with one of these jobs that are open. And there's a couple more jobs that could come open after Saturday, y'all. We'll talk about those as we go. Here's one of them. You got Auburn traveling to Arkansas. This spread has flipped on some sides, y'all. Auburn on this one, favored by 1.5. On DraftKings, I was looking, Arkansas is favored by 1.5. FPI's dead even. It likes Arkansas by just a hair. Over-under in this game is 57.5. Auburn has been so close so many times this year, y'all. It's like every week they lose by 1 possession besides the Georgia game. That Georgia game could have been a 3-point game if the rest didn't screw them on that fumble at the goal line. Auburn has all the talent in the world on that roster. Hugh Freeze, for some reason, will not spend money on a quarterback. They got Deuce Knight, 5-star freshman, but he's not playing. And I don't think he's going to be around to play because I think Hugh Freeze gets fired this week after traveling to Arkansas, and the Arkansas Razorbacks getting their first win in a while and costing Hugh Freeze his job. Give me Arkansas in that game. I love Arkansas in that game. Arkansas can score, Auburn can't. It's that simple. Arkansas scores on everybody. They scored 42 on Texas A&M. The one game this year they didn't score much was against Notre Dame. I think that's because they was just so ready for Sam Pittman to get fired. There's a lot of noise. You know how it is. Nick Saban calls it rat poison. There's a lot of rat poison out there. Arkansas come out, laid an egg. Pittman got fired. Since then, Arkansas has lost to Tennessee by 3. Lost to Texas A&M by 3. So Arkansas gets over the hump. Finally gets a win. Puts Hugh Freeze and Auburn out of their misery. Hugh Freeze gets fired most Sunday. Auburn joins the list of teams looking for a coach. The list is growing and growing, y'all, and it's going to keep growing. There's a couple more that are on their way out, I think. But I think Hugh Freeze is definitely the one that goes first. He come into this season literally saying, "Oh, I think we should just be happy with the bowl game." You're in year 3 with 3 top 10 recruiting classes. How should you be happy with the bowl game? You got Cam Coleman, who's one of the best wide receivers in the country, that you make look pedestrian because you want to bring Peyton Thorne and Jackson Arnold in instead of going and getting an actual quarterback. It makes no sense. The team I hate that just whooped my balls, y'all. Alabama going on the road to South Kakalaki, Williams-Brice Stadium. You got Alabama favored by 13.5. I get my computer fixed. Now my graphic ain't working. Alabama's favored by 13.5, y'all. The over-under in this game, 47.5. FPI loves Bama, 82-18. Ty Simpson, him and Mendoza are playing the best at quarterback in the country. It's supposed to be October. This time, South Carolina's supposed to get hot. They've not. They keep losing, and it's not even close most of the time. They played decent at Missouri, but besides that, Vandy whooped their ass. Oklahoma just whooped their ass. Is it possible? It's the last game of October. Is it possible for South Carolina to go over in October? I don't think it's ever happened, but it's going to happen. I think Alabama covers that spread. I think Alabama wins big, 21, 28 points. After watching Oklahoma go in there and manhandle them, I think Alabama does the same thing. South Carolina's biggest problem is their offensive line. They bet on the guys they had there. They didn't go get no help out of the portal. Their offensive line is hot garbage, y'all. I mean, they're just trash. Lenore Sellers is running for his life every week. No matter how good of an athlete you are, at a certain point, you got to have a little help from your offensive line. South Carolina's not giving it to them. Their defense is underachieving, too. Everybody's talking about South Carolina's defense this year. Their defense hasn't stopped anybody. Nobody. Dylan Stewart took a step back last year. One of the best pass rushers in the country. This year, they need to put him on the back of a milk carton because he's missing in action, y'all. Is it just a kind of team starting to quit on Beamer? It's possible. Is Beamer a coach that could be put on the hot seat? That's absolutely possible too, y'all. Will Beamer leave South Carolina, go to Virginia Tech, where there's not as much heat? If you go win 7, 8 games a year, you're an improvement from the last guy. I think that's very possible. I could see Beamer going to Virginia Tech, y'all. I really could. Up next, you got the BYU Soakers. If you don't know what soaking is, PG-13 and above. BYU just keeps winning, y'all. They're on the road at Iowa State. 2.5-point underdogs. Last week they played Utah. They's underdogs. I picked against them. The FPI likes BYU in this one. 54-46. Here's my upset pick of the week. One of them. I got BYU going on the road. Iowa State staying undefeated. Iowa State is coming off a bye. That worries me a little bit. But Iowa State still, they've lost both their corners for the season. They got defensive tackle out, running back out. Iowa State is very injured. They're one of those teams, y'all, that their depth cannot withstand injuries like that. So give me BYU going on the road, staying undefeated. Upset one of the week, y'all. That's one upset pick. I'll give you a best bet. I'll give you an upset pick. Let's keep it rolling, y'all. We got Washington coming off an ass whooping to Michigan. They lost 24-7. Before they played Michigan, Washington was the only 5-1 team in either the SEC or the Big Ten that wasn't ranked. Their fans was having a fit about it. They go to Michigan, get beat 24-7. That's why he wasn't ranked. Now Illinois travels out west to Washington. Washington's favored by 4.5. Illinois has been playing good football. They lost to Ohio State. They got an ass whooping by Illinois. They lost by more to Indiana than they did to Ohio State. But Ohio State's one of those teams, they don't run the score up on people, really. Saying all that, I like Washington, y'all. I like Demond Williams. I like Washington at home. Before Washington played Ohio State at home, they had won 22 straight home games. It's tough to travel out west. We see it every week. It don't work out well for them most time. Now, Indiana traveled out there and beat Oregon. But I don't think Illinois can do it. So give me Washington. Give me Demond Williams having a big game. I like Washington to cover that spread. I like Washington to win by about 7 to 10 points. So Illinois drops to 5-3. Their playoff hopes probably dead. But, y'all, this season, the way this season's going, there might be a couple of 9-3 teams make it. We need to have that discussion. Because every week, teams just keep losing. It's been one of those crazy years like the 07 season. If you don't know about the 07 season, YouTube it. Craziest season in college football. This one's trending that way. So I got a feeling if I had put the over-under on how many 9-3 teams make the playoff, it'd be 1.5. I think one's going to definitely get in, and I could see 2 getting in, y'all. Let's move right along to Texas, going on the road to Mississippi State. Texas has not been good on the road this year, y'all. They went down to Florida, took an ass whooping. They traveled to Kentucky last week. Escaped with the win that they shouldn't have got, but they did. Kentucky had double the yards Texas had, yet the ball still fell Texas's way. They go to Mississippi State, who's reeling, looking for a win, y'all. The FPI loves Texas, 80-20. I know it. Of course it does. Texas is going to be favored against probably 95% of teams in the FPI because of their talent. Texas is 6.5-point favorites. Over under 65.5, y'all. I like Mississippi State to cover that spread, y'all. Mississippi State, when they're at home, they're a pretty good team. Hell, they went on the road last week they really should have beat Florida, but Florida got out with the win. We traveled down there, had to scrape by with the win. Arizona State traveled down there, left with a loss. And Arizona State's 5-2 now, ranked. I really want to pick this as an upset, but I'm going to stick with Mississippi State covering that 6.5 points. That's one of my best bets of the week. I think Mississippi State loses a damn heartbreaker by 3. Another heartbreaker at home for Mississippi State. They lose by about 3-6. I would not be surprised at all if Mississippi State wins that game, y'all. Texas is in shambles right now. Everybody's questioning Sark. Should he give up play calling? Arch looks terrible every week, especially on the road. Besides the Oklahoma, the Red River shootout, Arch has looked bad every week. Mississippi State can't put up points. And Mississippi State, believe it or not, has a really good secondary. Y'all tell me what you think in the comments, y'all, about that game specifically. Do you think Texas goes to Starkville and wins and covers that spread, or do you think they go to Starkville and just escape barely? That's one of my best bets of the week, y'all. I think Mississippi State covers that spread, and it wouldn't surprise me a bit if they win the game outright. But we're trying to keep our record looking good this year, so I'm just taking them to cover the spread. I do have y'all one more upset pick coming, though. Maybe two. I don't know. One or two. We'll see. You got Texas A&M, undefeated. Number 3 in the country, traveling to LSU. Suck that tiger dick, bitch. That's what they say, not me. FPI, close to even as you can get, y'all. 52-48. Texas A&M, favored by 2.5. LSU at night, y'all. 7:30 kickoff, over under 48.5. I really think this could be Brian Kelly's last season at LSU, y'all. Texas A&M undefeated, flipping the script. Everybody knows Texas A&M is going to go 8-4. Nothing better, nothing worse. Maybe 7-5. They're trying to flip the script. LSU's reeling. They're coming off a loss to Vandy. The fans are tired of Brian Kelly. I got LSU in the upset, giving A&M their first loss of the year. Now, you don't go into LSU at night and get a win very often. Alabama done it last year. Besides that, not many teams do it. And Texas A&M has showed holes here and there. And Texas A&M's schedule, besides Notre Dame, has not really been hard yet. It's about to ramp up a little bit. I think Texas A&M gets humbled this week. Takes their first loss. Brian Kelly gets a little heat off his back for at least a week here. Then I think it ramps back up because they got a tough schedule coming up, y'all. We got 2 more games to go over, and it's the 2 biggest ones of the week, y'all. Well, that one's one of the big ones too, but of course, it's another SEC game. You got Ole Miss traveling on the road to Oklahoma. Lane Kiffin accusing Brent Venables of stealing signs, basically. Saying they do it while watching film, knowing good and well. Lane Kiffin, being the troll he is, was saying they stole signs. You got Ole Miss getting 4.5 points. Oklahoma's favored by 4.5 points. The over-under, 52.5. FPI, 55-45. I love the over. If I was just betting, I'd probably take the over in that game. Because that Oklahoma offense against Ole Miss defense, I think they'll score some points. And you know Ole Miss is going to score some points. Venables, they're looking good. They didn't look good against Texas. Their schedule's getting real tough right here, y'all. Oklahoma probably has the hardest remaining schedule left in the country. And they got an absolute gauntlet coming up. Starting now. Ole Miss has an easy schedule. Ole Miss can afford this loss and still make the playoffs. I don't think Oklahoma can. That being said, I can't stand the son of a bitch. But give me Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss going into Norman, giving Oklahoma their second loss of the year. So there's another that's upset pick number 3. I can't help it, y'all. I just really feel the way Ole Miss played against Georgia. Yes, they let Georgia come back and get them. But I think Georgia's better than Oklahoma. Oklahoma's offensive line will be the difference in this game. Oklahoma has not been able to run the ball outside of Mateer running it 20, 25 times. Everybody can pin their ears back, go after Mateer. So I think Oklahoma not being able to run the ball in this game cost them the game. Ole Miss wins because they can run, they can pass. And I'm still not as sold on Joe Mateer as everybody else is. He's a good quarterback, but he's not great, I don't think. He's really good. He's going to beat somebody. Hell, he might beat my Vols later in the year. But I haven't seen Heisman like everybody else has, y'all. I'm sorry. I see a really good quarterback, but I've seen nothing from it makes me think, even when he was the leader for the Heisman. Oklahoma's not even scored, but they may have against South Carolina. But that's one time the whole last 2 years, even this year, that they scored more than 2 offensive touchdowns in an SEC game, y'all. If you got a Heisman-winning quarterback, you're scoring more than 2 touchdowns in an SEC game. I know his offensive line's terrible, but they are comparing him to Johnny Manziel. I don't know. I don't see it. Let's move on. Who would have ever thought that College Game Day would be at a Vandy game, at Vandy, because Vandy was the higher-ranked team? You got number 15, Missouri, traveling to Nashville. Take on number 10, Vandy. Vandy's favored by 2.5. Over under 52.5. FPI likes Vandy. 55.5, 45.5. In games like this, where it's so closely matched, I go with the quarterback I trust more and the coach I trust more. And right now, give me Vandy and Diego Pavia, y'all. I think Vandy gets another big win. Vandy still has a tough schedule coming up. But they're going to keep their playoff hopes alive, stay in the top 10, hand Missouri their second loss of the season. I think Vandy at home wins this. If this was at Missouri, I'd take Missouri. But with it being at home, Vandy wins, y'all. I really think Vandy wins. Y'all let me know y'all's picks on these big games in the comment section. One last thing before I let y'all go. I want to talk about the Florida job. I'm going to do y'all another episode tomorrow now that I got my laptop situation fixed. I'm sorry I missed that. Who do y'all think will be the coach of Florida next year? Lane Kiffin's the odds-on favorite. I don't think he goes there. I think he stays at Ole Miss. The last 2 years, this year and last year, has proved that he can get enough talent to Ole Miss to win. Last year's team was even more talented than this one. But I think this year's team is going to be one that makes the playoffs, and last year's did. I think Ole Miss is a better spot for him. He can go 9-3, 8-4 every now and then. They're going to be happy. He goes to Florida, has an 8-4 year. They're going to be calling for him to leave. They're going to say, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. That's how it is at these big jobs like Tennessee, Florida, LSU, Texas, Georgia, Alabama. Ole Miss, he's got it made. And they love him there. So why would he jump to Florida when he's got good enough resources at Ole Miss to win? Yes, he'd have a little more resources at Florida. But I think he stays at Ole Miss. Y'all know who I think gets the job? Dorkwitz from Missouri. I think Florida hires Dorkwitz from Missouri. He wants the job. He'd take the job. If I was a betting man, I'd put money on Dorkwitz. And if it wasn't Dorkwitz, I'd say Golesh from USF. And I would absolutely hate Alex Golesh to go to Florida because I love Alex Golesh. But that's probably my second pick would be Golesh. Y'all let me know in the comment section who y'all think will take the Florida job. I got y'all an episode coming tomorrow. Sorry I missed yesterday. We're going to talk about quite a bit of stuff on tomorrow's episode that's been going on. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you haven't already, do that YouTube stuff for me. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I beg of you. God bless you if you do. get in that comment section. Until next time, God bless you and go Vols.